cabinet. Oh, do you have a do you have a file cabinet that you just pull out your files? Do you have everything out? Are you just at that point where you're like, I don't know, it's just so overwhelming and I'm just trying to, live day by day. It's just kind of a way for us to share, like, if you are doing centers, what when the students are managing material, like what works best for you and your students. And you can share that as I'm going. So think about it. Once you have an idea, you can put it in the chat. It's basically just for others to see what other teachers are doing. So going along with all of the things that I just said, the teachers take care of this. There's different ways. I mean, the teachers, the students take care of this. Table captains. Sometimes you can have math center experts. And then for my squirrely students, this is a great way for me to be like, you know what, can you go pick up all of the counters before we're done? Like just different ways to get kids engaged and feel like they're a part of the classroom. I need ideas for storage. There's just so much to manage right now. I'm doing it all. Yeah, and I think that's why
Good question.
I'm going to go back to, oh, sorry. I'm going to go back to this because I think that's why I have everything out, right? Um, yes, each center in a large zippered pouch. That's a great way to do it. And the bins are on the floor. It doesn't even have to be on a shelf, right? I like that idea as well. Um, there is so much to manage. And I think the nice thing too is honestly, I'm going to go to my next slide because the biggest thing for me is just making a small goal, like one center at a time. And we're going to go into digital centers, which I will show you. But I think I really trying to get out like, what does illustrative math have that's actually really useful for what we're teaching? And I'll get into that in a minute. All right, so now that we have, another great way for storage is I just get a filing cabinet and I have it like by unit. And so once that game is done, I put the game in the filing cabinet under unit 4, and then I have it for next year. And you can get those crates that are super easy too. If you don't have a filing cabinet, you can just start now, unit 4 games and then unit 5 games, and then that way you'll have them. Another thing that makes centers obviously super successful is like your groups. So I can't stress enough like how important it is to like manage that grouping. I think grouping is another really important way that centers really work in the classroom. I group in different ways. So when we do whole group lessons, I sometimes assign kids like my high kids right next to my kids who might be struggling so that they can, when they partner talk, my students who understand the concept can talk to my students who don't understand the concept. When we are in our center days, which is about 3 times a week, I have it by ability level, just because I get to have more time with my students who struggle, and then I give challenges for those who already understand the concept. And then those kids who are right there where they need to be, then they have manipulatives available to them. So for example, these are my groups. Um, in this group right here, my yellow group, I have about 8 kids and they are my high flyers, I would call them. Everyone understands the concepts. They all, I can hand them their paper, they can read it, they can answer it. They can basically do it very independently. So this is my very independent group. Then I have my students who really need my help and they need the manipulatives. They need me to do it sometimes with them. It's my high intensity group. And then I have 2 groups that are kind of around average, and sometimes they understand and sometimes they don't. So what that looks like at the tables. So here at this large table, I start with my independent group. So my independent kids are working, and then I have my low kids, or I shouldn't say low students, I'm sorry. I should students who need a lot of support. They are working here. So it's in close proximity. I know you can't really see it in this picture, but I can still check in with my students who are independent and be working with my students who need more support I can check in with both tables easily. And then once we are done here, everyone stops and I have a little chimer and we say chairs. And the kids say, stand up, walk around, push in. So they're standing up, they're walking around their chair, and they're pushing in their chair. And nobody moves until I say go. Once I say go, they go, I'm walking to my spot. I'm walking to my spot. And then by the time we're there, they should be sitting down and they can start their game. So it has to be, I feel like, obviously you guys all know this, but whatever system works best for you, but they don't just move, obviously, until I'm making sure that this concept has been taught and understood. So once they are done with their activity, then we chair, stand up, walk around, push in. I'm walking to my spot. I'm walking to my spot. And they go to this independent activity. And then my low students come to me, my students who are struggling, who need more support. The nice thing about having an independent activity after your table, the teacher table time, is if I have to keep 2 or 3 here to reteach the concept, they don't need a partner or a game, or they're not missing a whole lot of that partner talk at the next table. It's something they can easily do as soon as they get there. So whatever activity you have here, whether it's writing numbers, whether it's building towers of 10, whatever they can do independently, I would have at this table. And I'm going to be honest, I just have pattern blocks for almost everything because we're learning about Arctic foxes. So it's also like that high engagement piece, like the week before we had snowflakes because we were learning about snow and snowflakes. So you can really tailor it to like just be also whatever you're teaching at that time. And that's, you know, for kids, that's super fun. And then I tried it. My goal, as you can see right here, my goal this year is to have one illustrative math game here. Again, I feel like this is only our 2nd year and there are so many centers. I think making it a goal for just having one, you know, that you can manage and then add on to that, like before you know it, you're going to have 3 next year. And then the year after that, you'll have 5. And then the year after, you know, I think it does. I think we just need to be mindful that we don't need to have everything done right now. As much as I want to say it's just unrealistic. I like to have manipulatives and building here. So this is unit 4. I think this is the practice we did. So you can kind of see that, and they're approximately about 10 minutes. And again, this is just one way that you can do centers. It just really works well for me and my students. That was a lot of talking. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, let's see it in action. So I have some videos of some students. I'm going to be honest, I was walking around. These are not the best videos. This is literally me trying to teach and check in and also get videos for today. So it's not perfect. I'm just letting you know now. But these are just so you can see the students in action and what they're doing. Unfortunately, I don't know why it's not showing up. Hopefully it works. One thing I do have to say is centers really do work for engaging the students with behaviors. One of my students who you'll see today, she is pretty intense. She has high needs, and even she was able to participate because she doesn't like it when I teach her. She has a friend teacher, and I just make sure that, like I said, that grouping is good. So let's start with this one. I love, oh. So I don't know, hold on, I'm gonna put it on pause. I'm gonna try to get it louder real quick. Can somebody put a thumbs up if they can hear it? Let's see, ready? I'm gonna press play one more time. The very first part of this video, he's like, it doesn't make sense to me, Mrs. Salcido. Okay, we'll see it. So let's check. Now, what does that represent, Nash? What did you do? Oh, okay. So is that adding or subtracting? By how much? So that's just one way. I like that one because he was like, it doesn't make sense. But then he was able to like explain what he did and why. So like just another way for like us to see. This is also one of my students who is using manipulatives and to figure out the math sheet that we were working on. What is this asking us to do? Take away 210. Can you take away 210? Good. How many are left over? So she obviously again that three, she understood the concept. And these videos are basically I'm just walking around and I'm just looking to see what they're building and what they're doing to see who can build, who can count, who can subtract, who can add. I always check in with this little boy right here just because he's quiet. So I just make sure he's understanding. Just quick little videos and then one more just because why not? You're doing great. All right. So again, just the same idea, like the students are engaged, everyone's working. I am able to check in. Hold on. Whoa. I'm able to check in with them. Everyone's engaged, all of those things. So while you're watching, kind of like, I feel like when we were asked to do this professional learning, I didn't really know where everyone's struggles were. And so we just kind of wanted to share like what works best for us. I think we are together, like we are our biggest supporters. And so I love that we were able to share. I have a drawer for each center. I use Ziploc pouches. Um, what do you do with the cards that are for more than one game and unit? So again, for me, go ahead, Meg.
No, go ahead. I'll go after you.
I was just gonna say, like, I have in my cards, I just switch out my cards and I do have a file bin for like my unit. But I'm gonna be honest, I try to use just my playing cards. Like as you saw, um, for that last center, which is like instead of printing out 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 cards, I just used playing cards. And that also got them thinking that 5 represented 5 10s, which represented 50. So just lots to go in. I feel like when you have those playing cards, you can use them for a lot of different things, which takes me into the digital centers.
Can I just jump in real quick
Yes,
before you
please.
go to digital centers? A couple of people were talking about the zipper pouches. I just wanted to share. So these are the zipper pouches that we use, and these are on Amazon or whatever. But the zipper pouches, and then we have the title of the center up here, and then I use the smaller ones to collect for the cards. And these I'll keep in a large bin, so the kids can kind of file through and find the one that they're looking for. And then I put all of the cards, all of the mini cards that we need in another bin, and they can kind of look through and find out what cards they need because everything's labeled. And so far, I've just implemented this the last like 2 months. And so far that's been somewhat easy for them to find what they need. Most of the times I can pull it out for them and have it ready. But if they do have independent learning time and they want to go to a center, I found that this is helpful too. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what, like, I love like hearing what everyone's doing. Um, I'm going to be honest though, if it has a lot of pieces, I'm going directly to the digital centers. I think just for me and
Yes.
right now that the digital centers are amazing because it gives them instructions, it tells them what to do, they can play against the computer, and most of the time they win versus the computer unless they're struggling with the skill. I also like the fact that they get to pick their own avatar. I highly recommend those digital centers. Um, this is just a quick overview of how to get to centers, just in case you don't know. You go onto Imagine Learning or Imagine, yes, Illustrative, Imagine right here. Then you scroll down to the bottom and there's a button just for centers. And then oops, sorry. And then you can click your first grade. You can say first, it would be first grade right here. Then you would go to centers and then you can pick off which center you want. Um, the most important thing that I also really like about the digital centers is you can differentiate. So that game, check it off. Um, it's perfect for that unit 4, lesson 1 and 2, where they're adding and subtracting tens. So that is stage 3. However, I have some students that have a hard time with that. And so I assign them subtract within 10 or add within 10. It just depends on their ability level. And it's super easy to do. You just click on the game, then you hit assign, this little button right here that says assign, the little plus button. And then right here where it has the little icon of the people, if you click the little people, you can assign it to the game to whoever you want to assign it to. So I have assigned the same game, but different levels for different students. The important thing is this button right here. It's tiny, says open assignments. If you click open assignments, they're going to have access to it anytime that they want. So like, let's say we're done doing center, or I taught them that center or that digital center for that day, and I want them to be able to play it at any time. As long as you click that open assignment, it will be available to them. You can fix it if you didn't do this, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know exactly how, but there is a way. I just try my best to keep that open. And then you hit create assignment, and then the students are able to see success. So then all the students are here. What students see right here, this button, what students see. If you click on that, when I'm introducing the digital center, I click on that and we go through at least one round before I send them to get on their Chromebooks. And I know
And the
for,
digital centers do a really good job of doing an introduction.
yeah,
If the, when they're on the computers by themselves, they introduce the center, they do a little practice round, and then the kids have the option to choose to play against somebody in their class or to play against the computer. So
so the when, right? Everyone's like, when do you do this? When do you have time? And I'm right there with you. I feel like we have MZ, we have all the curriculum that we're supposed to teach, and then we have like this brand new math program. And every time there's a brand new math program, it just takes more time. Let's just be honest. So I feel like I really try to do it on like in the times that are like a little awkward time. So like we have those VAPA days for our school in the VAPA days, like we have this weird like 45-minute chunk where it's hard for me to get a whole entire writing lesson in or a whole entire reading lesson in or my MZ. So like I try to use those days to introduce some of the digital centers. And then when it's time to have it in the lesson, they're able to do it. There are a couple of my coworkers where they have it at a station. So I don't do technology in my centers only because I feel like somebody kind of always needs help with the computer aspect. So that's just me personally. However, they have 3 rotations instead of the 4, and it's computers right after the teacher. So if they get to it, they get to it. And if not, not. And then they have a game and then they see the teacher. So again, it kind of works for you. I like to be available. So I try to do it like on Thursdays and it's a short day and we do a quick math lesson and then we all get on our digital math centers. So finding that time is going to be honestly like I feel like everyone's going to be a little different here. But I can't tell you how much they love them. They really do like these illustrative math games and they are actually very valuable. Um, so I also like to do them after our assessment. So like after Unit 3 test, if they were done and they had their headphones, then they could get on their illustrative math and they could go play all the games that they just learned in Unit 3. You can make it a choice option in your day. I do what I call reader time, where the students are choosing activities when I'm pulling reading groups. I also make illustrative math available at that time as well, because even though it's not literacy, I'm still okay with them practicing math skills, as long as it's obviously appropriate. Another thing, especially for kindergarten students, um, just knowing it's going to be challenging in the beginning if we're doing digital centers, like, and just being available. I've heard other friends use big buddies. So they'll have fourth graders come in and help their kinders or their first graders, or they'll have on band days, they'll do it at a certain time when they know that fifth graders can come right after band and help them out. I know that lots of kids like to be experts. So picking those technology experts who can go around and show them how the game works or help show them how to use their two fingers to slide their mouse up. I feel like it's all those little things that make this a little bit more challenging, but like once they get it, then they have it and then they can use it in second and third and so forth. And just like have that growth mindset, just know it's going to be challenging in the beginning, but it does get easier the more you do the digital centers. Um, and I feel like I haven't talked this much in a really long time. This is from T. She just wanted us to show you guys that these centers build through the grade levels. And then there's also how to assign them digitally, but I went over that previously. Basically, she just wanted us to show you guys like, hey, the centers, the games are sometimes the same and they build upon each other by grade level. So I think she is just like stressing like, hey, if you can, really try to get these games introduced so it's not brand new to them when they get into the grade where it's like, oh, you were supposed to have played this game for 3 years kind of thing. So, I mean, again, like this is only our second year and we're halfway through the year. I do feel a little bit more confident, but I'm not an expert yet. Um, and if you are, like, maybe I can come watch you. But for the most part, just the importance of trying to get it done. And I true-heartedly believe that centers are worth it. I can't express enough how much my kids love math because we do centers so often. They really do enjoy it. When we go around and we say, hey, what's one of your favorite parts of the day? I have a lot of kids saying math, and it's just because we're playing games and we are having fun and they're getting that small group support that a lot of them need. I am kindergarten and first grade, everybody needs you. So I just try to make that happen. And if you need us, remember, I'm not an expert, but I love to help. And so does Megan. And if you need us, those are our email addresses. And this is recorded, so you'll have all of these things. And then we have a Google form if you have any questions. Or if you have any questions now, I think we did pretty good. We ended 3 minutes early. No, you can come anytime for my I would be happy. I can actually share another video if anybody wants to stay on for a minute about I'm just walking around. I wish I had more of that. I apologize. Again, I was more of like I don't know what you guys want to see. But anyone's welcome to come in. And if you guys need anything from us, we're available. And thanks for coming in.
And just to note real quick at the end, the TLC that they created is a 5-point TLC. If you are interested, then you can go to the TLC page, the professional learning page, and sign up. And it's basically, I think it's like a write-up of the different sessions that you saw today or that you follow up with, and you can get a TLC on that.
And just
Thank
so
you, guys.
yes, wait, don't stop yet. The TLC, I just want you to know it's not Megan and I. So if you do sign
Oh,
up, like
yes.
it won't, it would be someone different and maybe different materials. So
Good point. Thank you.
there's a couple questions that I'll stay on and answer. I do my math centers first thing in the morning. So we do our morning meeting. I already have my math centers out. The kids know, they really, I mean, some of them come in and they start playing around on them, which it doesn't bother me. So we have our circle time, and then we have our little phonics like thing. And then right after that, I go into my math calendar time, and then whole group, and then centers. So I try to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do math. Sometimes my Mondays are whole group math, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are my centers. If that helps, Debbie. Any other questions?